Yeah, it's an interesting question. I My opinion is if you're an engineer, you probably already know, not necessarily because you already have the training, but because you already think a particular way. You're already One of my favorite authors, Stephen King, described why he writes horror versus romance as a sink strainer that everybody has, and as information comes into your brain, whatever sits in the strainer is the thing you're interested in, and whatever falls through is the thing you're not. And usually, what's in the strainer is your passion. For me, solving problems or being an engineer or being a nerd or whatever is what sits in my filter, if you'll take that analogy. If you're already that type of person, you probably have already decided you're interested in these certain things, and they speak to you, and that's what makes you really good at it. So I do strongly believe in the concept of follow your passion. And if you haven't found your passion yet, okay, do all kinds of things to go expose yourself to stuff and find your passion. Once you've found your passion, then there's probably a lot of different ways to pursue it. And I don't think that there's a right or a wrong. So let's talk about a couple ways. You can do the traditional thing and go down the schooling route and follow the course curriculum for a degree in XYZ. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And there's plenty of people who are super successful with that. That wasn't the path that I ended up taking in the beginning. I went a different way because different things were speaking to me at the time, especially right out of high school. So I'm mostly self-taught. Career-wise, I have a degree that I actually achieved after I started working for Intel. Intel helped me get that degree and paid for it.
Oh, that's nice.
It was very nice and very helpful from the perspective of where I was coming from. But even with that degree, the vast majority of what I've done in my life has been things that I've read on my own, and I've done on my own, and I've developed on my own. I happen to be one of those nerds that's just a self-taught. Things just seem to speak to me in certain cases, and when they do, I go research the craziness out of them and learn them. I also do consume the written word very well, and I'm hands-on, but I can look at something, read it, and immediately understand it, and go forward using it. And that's not something everyone can do. Some folks need to actually either write the code or play with the computer pieces or whatever the case may be, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with hands-on learning too. In fact, both of them are even better. So I want to try and answer your question, but I'm being vague because I think that there's a very large scope to this answer from my point of view. If you go to school to pursue your career, I really strongly recommend you take all sorts of wild, crazy classes. Just because you're in school for engineering, take a pottery class. Expose yourself to other things. I will tell you that you may not realize it at the time, but you will learn something everywhere, and it can be applied anywhere if you're open enough to it.